Have you ever heard the engine of the ghost running? If you say you mine, nigga, let me hold something. Real recognize real, they be no frontin'. Put that money where your mouth is, that's stunning. Have you ever heard the engine of the ghost running? If you say you mine, nigga, let me hold something. Real recognize real, they be no frontin'. Put that money where your mouth is, that's stunning. Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you ever heard the engine of the ghost running? So close to the money, I can see it coming. Watch me make it squirt, wet like vaginas. No co-signers, big like designers. My fashion all black, rockin' camo. Black Timberlands, I call symbols. If I wish a nigga dead, that's revenge though. Screw the silence on tight and watch his melon blow. I got demons of my own, my shit be suicidal. Mama friend's son killed himself with the rifle. If you don't believe me, I swear right hand on the Bible. My life changed for the better, they gon' say it's worse. Cause I ain't outside banging out there putting work. When niggas outside dying trying to move that work. How can I wish 100 goons to really pray for me? When living out there in them trenches is like slavery. Father forgive me, death the haters, leave them 6 feet. Have you ever heard the engine of the ghost running? If you say you mine, nigga, let me hold something. Real recognize real, they be no frontin'. Put that money where your mouth is, that's stunning. Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you ever heard the engine of the ghost running? My life changed for the better, they gon' say it's worse. Cause I ain't outside banging out there putting work. I had to bring that part back just to remind myself. My cousin died, I left shorty. Am I myself? I found myself by myself even though I'm taken. Liam Nilsson working hard like a Jamaican. 2 babies, I am the father, where's the bacon? 2 80s, fully loaded, keep noted. Any given day reloaded, burn notice. Luxury items, I fantasize, big lotus. 4-door, British, European, just dreaming shit. Crib so big, I need an island, overseas and shit. Drop top roof in my kitchen, iced tea and shit. Stars lit up in the ghost, you not seeing shit. Toast all over the butter, old piece and shit. You come talking that gutter, watch my pieces hit. Have you ever heard the engine of the ghost running? If you say you mine, nigga, let me hold something. Real recognize real, they be no frontin'. Put that money where your mouth is, that's stunning. Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you ever heard the engine of the ghost running? Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? Have you ever heard the engine of the ghost running? HHPOV.
What's up, everybody? This is HipHop Point of View, 6 to 8, every day. Well, not every day, sorry. Every Thursday. Shantae. Who we have on the phone?
No, it's every day. It's every day.
It's every day. HipHop Point of View every day, but we live from every 6 to 8 on Thursdays.
What's going down? I know we got a call from I think ATL today. Shantae.
Yes, is he on?
I'm gonna check. What Slim said? Slim gave us the cue?
Yes.
He's on?
Hello?
Yeah.
Michael?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there you go.
Michael, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. Blessed to be on your show.
Thank you, man. We're honored. Thanks for bearing with us. We apologize wholeheartedly. We'll keep that between us, but thanks for being patient with us.
You're welcome. It's an honor to be here.
So, where are you now? Are you in Atlanta? I know you do your running around. Are you in Atlanta right now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. All right. I know how the the music industry life is. So I know when we spoke, you said you managed a couple of projects. Can you kind of run down some of those projects again?
I represent a few people. I have a project. You ever heard of an old school group called Champagne?
Champagne?
Is that
Yeah.
Ooh. No, I
Female
haven't.
group? It's an R&B group from the early 90s. Matter of fact,
Is it a female group or a male group?
a male group.
Okay.
Well, male and female. They're called Champagne.
Okay.
If you Google the name, you'll know the song when you hear it.
And Michael, do you need to can you refresh us with some notes? Can you give us a couple of songs from them? Can you sing something for us?
Yeah, I can't sing. Me singing is like you drowning a cat.
Oh no.
But so Champagne, are they coming back out? Are you still representing
Yeah,
them?
they're coming back out, and I also represent them, not just on the management side, but I also help out with their marketing and promotion and distribution, and giving them a whole new lifestyle. As in, their songs are already being played nationally and internationally, and now we're tapping into a whole different market by changing the vocal of the song. And what I mean by that is nothing's changing, but in the U.S. alone, there's only 90 stations or 90 million stations that play English music. The rest of the radio stations play, different genres of language when it comes to music. So now we're going after those stations that play Spanish. Nothing has changed, just the way it's being put out there. So if we're going on a Spanish station, you have to learn the language to have that station accept your music, and that's what we're doing.
So do those Spanish stations, do they kind of like, because I'm noticing that these Spanish stations now are playing some of the top hits. Do you really have to kind of cater to those stations, or they're looking to play that top hit even though it's in English?
It's a little bit of both, because when it comes to a radio station, you got to cater to what they're willing to play. For instance, if somebody brought a Spanish song to your station, would you play it?
If it was hip hop,
If it was hip hop Spanish related.
But you won't know that because if they could say it's hip hop, but if you won't, you would have to listen to the song. If you don't know the song and the language, you can't tell if it's hip hop or not.
You're right, and I would, and I don't know if this is bad or good. We probably try to find out what they're talking about, like what's the content.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So the way it's going to be done now is we're going to send you the English version and the Spanish version of the song.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? So you have it. But if you're a Spanish radio station, of course you're going to have it in Spanish for your Spanish listeners.
Absolutely.
And that's a whole other fan base that people are not touching.
So the Champagne sing it in Spanish, or they kind of like Google translate it?
No, we have a company that we deal with that translate all our music to different languages based on the need. If we're going to Brazil, or if they Spanish, we got it. The German, we have it. Polish, we have it. Philippine, Albanian, any language out there, we can have our music translated to fit that genre of music.
That is next level. That's next level right there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's just about. I didn't hear you.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. What you were saying?
Outside of me doing the Def Jam thing and being on that level, I've started a company called Ada Media Group, which is at independent level. But we are different than most labels, I feel, because we're self-sufficient. Most indie labels are waiting and doing this, and we're not knocking none of them, but we are our own bosses. We don't follow the norm. If we want to scream out loud, we can do it. If we
and if there's no red tape, if you want to make a decision, you can make it.
yeah, we can make the decision. We don't have to wait for John Doe or anybody else.
Exactly.
We try to make good music. We don't believe in trash because my whole thing is labels, indie labels, and labels in general need to be responsible for the music they put out.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody needs to be responsible for the music that they put out.
Yeah, but a lot of them are not. A lot of them are looking at the money factor. The money's good. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm putting out garbage music and then I'm chewing out my son or daughter for repeating what she hears or they hear, then I'm no better than the label.
So what do you mean by that, like, responsible for the music? Like, how give me an example of how you guys incorporate that.
For instance, when you hear young kids listening to music and the guys talking about popping mollies, snorting crack, and all this, young kids follow what they believe in or follow their idol. So picture a rapper singing, popping molly, smoking drugs, and all this negative, and your son follows that, or your daughter follows that. Mama, so-and-so pop mollies to be cool, so I want to be cool too.
So you would tell artists, like, let's suppose an artist was doing well at your station. At your station. Was at your label, and the artist is doing well. First album's doing well. Second album, obviously, with all the money, he starts making those decisions where he starts indulging in those drugs and those substances and stuff like that. And then he starts to forecast that in his music, talk about it in his music. What do you tell him now?
I mean, he can forecast whatever he wants, but the music industry changes too much, too quickly.
Yeah,
what was hot today is not hot tomorrow.
Definitely daily.
You know what I mean? For instance, what's his name? Little Uzi, right? You remember when he came out? He was all over the place, right or wrong.
Absolutely.
Now who's next? This guy called 6ix9ine and Trippie Redd and all those are now. Within a couple months now, they're the hottest ones out. So these are things you have to look at when it comes to the music industry. You have to go with the wave of what's going on, but you can also change it if you want to change it. A lot of people don't look at music; they look at the money factor. Oh, if I sell this garbage, I can get millions of dollars for selling garbage. But you should also, it's just my belief, you should also be accountable. So if this guy's talking about mass killings and, raping little kids and all this negative, you're promoting it. If you're a label and this guy's got a song talking about raping kids and doing all the negative, even though he's the artist, but you represent that artist, so you are vouching for his actions and what he says.
But
so now you don't. So you guys. So what you like? Let's suppose an artist has that in his album or his portfolio. You'll tell him we can't promote that. You can't put that on the album. Like, how do you?
I mean, we're gonna promote it, but there's ways to do it. You can promote it where that's bleeped out. Like certain radio stations on FCC, they bleep them songs out.
Okay.
Would it just be bleeping those the curse words or like more of content?
It's usually more of the curse words in there or anything that's going to fit the negative zone, which is if it's racial motivated, if it's racial motivated, suicidal motivated, things of that nature, or enhancing violence or drugs, they try to bleep it out.
Okay.
And I remember that, Shantae, that happened with when Biggie was talking about the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
And after 9/11, they started bleeping that, and it wasn't necessarily a curse, but they bleeped out certain content like that. So I see what you're saying, Michael. They
remember the song by Eazy-E? He said, "Fuck the police."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sure. Now I don't think we could. Can we necessarily say that in our songs? And they'll bleep it out.
They will automatically.
Okay.
If it's a FCC station, they will automatically, or they'll get their information pulled. But you remember, he made that song, and he, and my blessings go to him and his family. But he got in trouble for that song.
Definitely.
And he was just speaking the truth, but he got in trouble for the song.
Yeah. Let me. What's up? This is Bravo.
How you doing, Bravo?
I want to say something that with streaming, there's no parental advisory. Like
That
when
is
you
correct.
had the physical copy, you had that sticker, that parental advisory that limited, the purchases. So with streaming, there is none.
There is none. Yeah.
Right,
You
but
know-
they're trying to change that now. They're trying to put a cap on streaming on what can be streamed and what cannot be streamed.
But does explicit, Michael and Bravo, does explicit help that on the stream when it says explicit?
Right. If it says it on it, that means they're covered. But a lot of times people won't tell you if the stream is explicit or not.
Yeah.
So if it's explicit and you listen to that song and you repeat that song, the artist is not held accountable. The person is, because you're grown enough to understand what's right or wrong.
That's
Ye-
true.
yeah.
That's very true.
And then also too, when you do that though, they get by it because then they'll put it on the YouTube or they'll put it on their playlist, and automatically then that comes out there. So
Right, but it's still, you're accountable for it, because don't matter if you take that playlist, understand, you take that playlist, that song, and put it on your playlist, you've given it an identity. Even though it already has one, on the analytics side, we could see how many times that link was transferred from platform to platform by one user. So let's say this user, I took your song and put it on my playlist.
yeah,
So it's gonna show on my playlist because it's a different IP address,
yeah,
but it shows the original where it originated from was you. So it shows that it's being played on me. Then it shows somebody took it off of my playlist and forwarded the song. So you have changed the variable of the song, but the guarantees and the warranties, because you took it. So you're held responsible. Just like if you see these people popping up videos on social media where it's somebody else's song, but it's not somebody's video,
yeah,
and the person that's got the video doesn't own the song.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's changed where you could play my song on your video, and if you monetize that song, you are now able to collect the revenue off of the streaming of that song, even though it's on somebody else's Facebook page and in their video.
Yeah, that's where the game changed. And now, so I know you come from, the CD era, street team era. Did you?
I came from 8-track tapes.
I wasn't trying to show your age, Michael. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help you down.
But you can't lie about it. You got to be honest.
That's tough. I appreciate that. So you came from that era, and now to the streaming. From the industry's perspective, were you like, you know what? I gotta get with the wave, or were you ahead of the curve?
It's kind of both, because I'm even though at my age, I'm like a kid in a candy store when it comes to music and music knowledge. I'm always willing to learn and to elevate myself and grow, because I look at your network is your net worth.
Preach,
Michael. Knowledge is power. A lot of people don't have it. They want to say they have it, but I talk to a lot of people every day that don't know what an IRC code is. I've talked to people that tell me, "Oh, I'm registered. What is your song registered? Oh, we got PMI. What about BDS and MediaBase and SoundScan and Sound Exchange and IRC code?" No, I just signed up with BMI. Then you're not registered. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
My people told me, or I've dealt with people that say they got music played on BDS radio station. Okay, do you get a weekly or monthly report? BDS does
No.
it weekly and monthly. Well, no. It comes out every quarter. No. Radio spins come out either weekly or monthly. Do you get a BDS? And I've had a client, well, he's supposed to be my client until he started acting crazy. He gave me a BDS report. And I said, nowhere on here says it's a BDS. Well, my manager says it's a BDS report. It didn't even say Nelson Broadcasting, which is BDS. It just says radio campaign, radio station. And it was marked with a red marker. And he said, these are all the stations playing the music. So, of course, me being a wise ass, I looked on the analytics and looked at the media base in the BDS report. That was just a piece of paper because this song hasn't been played since who knows when.
So what were some of your because you know if you're going from 8 tracks to streaming, right? What would you say in your experience was some of your most achievable or highlighted projects or people you were working with, or even accomplishments? Some things you're most proud of.
Well, my accomplishments, it's widespread, but I'm proud of some of the artists that I've worked with. Like, you know, I'm a big fan of Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Okay.
I'm so big of a fan that I end up working as a road manager for Busy Bone. That was, you know, like frosting on the cake. I went from Busy Bone. I've worked with Twister. I've worked with Do or Die. Who else? Dave Hollister.
Shot Down from Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, those are I love them. Do or Die.
Yeah. I worked with Crucial Conflict. I worked with Do or Die. I worked with Cuckoo Cab, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Beanie Siegel.
Beanie. Oh, sorry.
Who else I've worked with? Dave Hollister. I've worked with B.B. King. I've worked with Gerald Levert.
Levert.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
You got a wide range. You got a wide range of experiences.
From Twister
I've
to
done
Gerald
country
Levert.
music. I used to work with Kibo Cyrus. That's Miley Cyrus's uncle. I've done rap. I've done R&B. I've done blues. I've done reggae. So my understanding of music is pretty wide.
Wow.
Some music to me I think sucks. And it's just me. I won't sugarcoat it because if it sucks, I don't care who sings it. It sucks.
Thank you.
Some of these rappers
Michael,
look like they're
Michael,
getting...
Here's a quick question, and I know with your wide experience, what you know, from an executive standpoint, and you know, doing A&R and managing, where is your, and this is a kind of a personal question, where's your revenue stream now? Where does it come from?
Revenue stream.
People want to get into this business. Where would they get their revenue from?
The revenue as in the money from what they're making?
Yeah, like how would they make a living in this industry from somebody who has your experience or your resume?
Well, the thing is, are you looking at, now you got to see the way I see. You want to be social media famous? I mean, social media rich, or you want to be financially rich?
We're going financial.
Let's go with social media rich. Let's suppose we want to be social media rich.
Well, that's Spotify.
Okay. Spotify. Okay.
Yeah, because it's popular, and the reason why Spotify pays the least. Understand? The reason why it's so popular is because it's free.
Because it's what?
It's free.
Free.
Oh, okay.
It's free. It's free Spotify. You don't have to buy a subscription or anything. You can just
put your music on it.
It's popular that way. You know what I mean? But the one that I would go to would be Deezer, Microsoft, or Xbox Music. Napster is one of the biggest. But people don't look at Napster because they think they fell off, but they didn't fall off. They just one of them that you don't brag about. Like, you know a Rolls Royce when you see one, but you don't ever see commercials about a Rolls Royce.
Exactly.
That's very true.
Napster's the same way.
Wow.
Napster pays the most. Napster, Deezer, iTunes pay the most, but they don't advertise like
I heard Tidal pays the most now.
No, they don't. They pay more than Spotify.
But they don't pay the most. Okay.
Right, they don't pay the most.
Now, what about financially rich? If you want to be financially rich,
financially rich, I would deal with Napster. That'd bring financial. Deezer brings financial, and iTunes brings financial. Now, what's going on? SoundCloud brings financial stability because they tried to say that people have made it big off of SoundCloud because of Chance the Rapper, which is cool. I mean, that's a blessing that he brought attention to it. But most artists nowadays don't push SoundCloud the way they should. And then you have to make sure they are reporting all your streaming to Sound Exchange and SoundScan in order to get paid. But as the industry is getting smarter, you know, technology is really doing is like the devil advocate, because now people are buying, and sad to say, fake streams, fake likes, and fake.
Yeah, you can buy it
I call
now.
it fake.
That's the easy way out.
Right, but you can. I mean, it's just common sense, because you'll go to somebody's SoundCloud, they got over 90 billion plays, but they only got maybe 1,000 followers.
Oh.
You know, so my thing is, and people say I'm rude, I'm like, there's no way in the world you got 90 billion people that stream your music and you only got 1,000 comments, even 1,000 likes. There's no way.
Now
Why?
people
Because
got
I
10
can
likes.
knock over a can of garbage and I can get 20 people to complain about me knocking over the garbage.
Yeah, that doesn't add up.
Right.
Percentages.
So now, because it's getting related to the industry, now SoundCloud is getting monitored, not just for monetization, but they're getting monitored for if the streams and the plays that you're getting are real. It has to add up, because if it doesn't add up, they're not going to knock you down. They just don't give you the money for it. You get 90 billion streams, and it doesn't add up. They ain't got to worry about it because they're not going to pay out. So basically, whoever did it is not looking on the financial aspect. They're looking on the, oh, I want to impress you. My song is hot.
So who,
you know?
Because, and first of all, Mike, I definitely want to thank you for sharing this information for us, because I am literally listening to information that I've heard for the first time. Like a lot of the stuff that you just said.
Yeah, thank you for that.
In the past 20 minutes, I just heard for the first time. But who do you credit with helping you to understand the business and knowing how to approach certain situations?
Well, there's about 6 people that I credit for that. 7 really. And I might as well say their names. And they helped me from the beginning. Basically, as I put it, when I was wearing a diaper, meaning new at it, to now, you know, where I'm walking with a cane, meaning I'm getting pretty old at this. But one of the guys from the beginning is a dude named Kenny Diamond. Used to be working for a radio station in Atlanta back in the early 80s, V103. It was Kenny Diamond, James Smart, and a young brother who gave me the wisdom named Salim. Then it went from there. Then it went from Steve LaBelle, who represents Bone Thugs and Harmony, Missy Elliott, and a few other major players. Then I met a young brother who took me under his wing named Wise McGriff. If you do Google his name, he's one of the original Def Jam people working with Russell and a lot of major players. He was back there when Murder Inc. and everybody was up and running. Just so many people have helped me out. My family has helped me out. The people at the Ada Media Group, they've been on me now because I represent them and they represent me. Iris Dunbar, she's very knowledgeable about the industry. So it just grows and grows. Plus, dealing with these old school artists like Paulie Carmen from Champaign, Cheryl Cooley from the group called Climax. They sung that song, Meet Me in the Ladies' Room. So I'm always learning and always accepting the information because it's your choice if you're going to use it or not. And all of these people I just mentioned helped me get to that point where I'm at. The president of the Ada Media Group, her name is Martha. She's out of New Zealand. She's helped me. The senior VP of A&R, Rock, and a VP, Anthony Shaw, and a young lady she's the chief of operations. Her name is Rose. she's helped me out. So it's just a lot of people, just like a chess game. Everybody has a certain part to play in order to win the game, and all these people played a part to get me to where I am today.
Nice.
So besides the Champagne Group, do you have anything else that you're working on right now?
Right now, I have a guy. His name is Donnie Steedy. He's got a song that you can Google. It's called "Born in This World."
Okay.
He's getting a lot of push overseas for the song. A lot of people are feeling this song. It's a heartstring, meaning he's talking about real life issues of losing his family, having everything, and now going from everything to having nothing at all. I have him, and then I'm working with a young guy today. His name is CJ. He's an R&B singer, but he did a country song as a joke, just to see if he could do it, and it's gaining more popularity than his R&B song.
Wow. Why do you think that is?
He has that flavor that he's able to sing on both levels of the playing field, and that's good because that means you're becoming more acceptable and more universal.
Okay.
Interesting. E, you still there? Oh, he's not there. We lost connection with E, the fifth letter. Michael, can you let the people know where they can find you and get in touch with you and find the artist?
Well, you can get in touch with AidemMediaGroup.net, which is AIDEMMEDIA Group, GROUP.net, or you can look me up on Instagram. It's called executive_Michael Neely _, which is on Instagram, and on Twitter I'm called Big Mike Music.
Okay.
On Facebook I'm called Facebook it says Red Dog Music on Facebook. But my thing is knowledge is power.
Definitely.
I'm always here to educate and elevate artists to get to the next level and be more understanding. Like most artists don't copyright their music.
Yes.
Most artists don't trademark their name. But at the end of the day, if you don't do it, somebody else will.
Exactly.
And that's where some of these major artists are having issues with labels because they're trademarking their name and copyrighting their music, so you don't own that music.
Exactly. Well, Mike, we want to thank you for your call and for your information, the valuable information, and appreciate your service in the music industry. Keep pumping it 100, doing what you got to do. And whenever you could get by the studio, if you get by here in person, we appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Will I be able to get a link to this interview?
Yeah, sure.
We're on my team?
Yeah, we're going to take care of that.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
it's an honor
thank you.
To be on this station.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate.
Thank you.
And that's his hip-hop point of view. Bang. We got some knowledge for y'all. We got more knowledge in the building right now. We got Miss V. Come on up to the microphone. Talk. She is she's peace and blessings, but she will let you have it the real way. Her information is solid.
I always walk with no filter.
Let the people know who you are and what it is that you present and you bring to society or to the community.
Okay. Well, my name is Victoria Phillips. Most people just call me Miss V,
Yes.
or Dr. V. but in the streets I'm Miss V. I have many titles, but currently my day job is I work for a nonprofit legal service law firm in the mental health project, and I design my own title, and it encompasses everything that I do throughout my day, throughout my life. So I'm the community health and justice organizer, and that ties up. That's the umbrella for everything I do. But I have my own office in Dumbo. I'm just now about to open that
Yeah,
up.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
I seen that.
Own office.
I seen that. I seen that picture. I was like, wow.
Black excellence.
Moving up.
Right. So after my brain surgery, I incorporated a lot of the Reiki practices that I do, and I went and became a master. I got certified in it so I could share with other people everything I've been through in my life. I try to figure out how I can get trained and give back in that way to the community. So I'm a master now, and I didn't want everybody bringing their energies to my own home.
Yes.
So I had to get a spot. So they keep them demons outside.
Yes,
I can
yes.
get them off of you and keep them there. And I'm a local and national, international community organizer. I'm a curriculum developer, so I develop things, a lot of programs, re-entry programs. I'm a criminal justice and mental health consultant. I do a lot.
What is
of
it that
things.
you don't do? Since we know
sleep.
everything you do.
I don't sleep. But
Join the team. There's a
join
few
the
of us
team,
that
right?
don't sleep. Slims don't
Slims
sleep.
don't sleep.
That's his
We
name.
don't sleep.
That's his name.
That's his
Slims don't
name?
sleep.
All right.
I mean, I think to be great, you have to utilize all the time that you have, and time is so important, and it's extremely valuable, and it's worth more than money. A lot of people don't get that.
That's interesting you say that about the sleep thing, because we had one of our he's a close associate and friend of the HHPOV and the Hip Hop Point of View family, Dr. Ivan. And he spoke about the no sleep thing, and he was like, it's because of who we are, and the hip hop world truly believes in that. Like, there is no sleep, there is no rest. You got to keep going, you got to keep grinding and doing it. And he says, like, we have mentally and hypnotically put that in our heads that this is what it is. And he says it's true, but you do need the rest.
That's true.
To move at your full capabilities and everything.
I definitely agree with that. A lot of my coaching clients, I use the model, don't do as I do as I say.
Yeah, I use that all the time.
And so I always remind people that you have to have a balance. But that is extremely true. And I think I started incorporating some part of a balance in my life after my surgery, when I fell flat on my back. And it was then I realized, like, you could do everything throughout the day, but are you tackling what's most important? Family? Are you tackling your health, right? Your mindset, and not having enough sleep is something that will destroy all of those things.
Yes. Now, I have a problem with the sleep thing. Like, I tried, like, there's days I really go like 27, 28 hours straight, no sleep. Today's one of those days. It's gonna be like that, and then I have those days when I kind of crash, when I just like, I'll lay down and that's it. Like, there's times that I'll go to sleep for like an hour, 2 hours, and I think I'm sleeping for like 12, 10 hours.
Right.
And I'm jumping up, and it's like only 2 hours went by. But even though I don't sleep, I try to eat, like, well balanced, healthy. So I figure
So you feel like you're balancing it out 'cause you don't sleep. You cheating.
No,
You can't do
it's
that.
cheating, but it's some type of compensation.
Do you
know
love
what I'm
yourself?
saying? I do love myself.
Okay, so if you love yourself, then you will respect your body and your body's wants and needs.
I'm trying to get that sleep. I just
You
slept
said
on the train.
right,
Coming
but
here.
you said
That's
you-
why I was a little bit late. I want to apologize to everybody for being late. I want to apologize for having Miss V here too early and everything. I gave her time.
Yes, and I'm punctual.
And she's breaking the black people stereotype.
Don't believe the hype.
By being here like, yo, you told me this time, I'm here this time. So I want to apologize to her for showing up too early. I want to apologize to Slims for breaking the regulations of our guests showing up before we do. You know what I'm saying?
I apologize,
want to apologize to the show for showing up late. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't even gonna put you on blast.
No, I want to apologize. I slipped, and I overslept on the train here. So, but that's what it is, though. But I'm finding a balance of sleep. I'm pushing for like at least 5 hours.
And that's
okay.
Every day or once
every day.
Okay.
If I could get 5 hours a day,
then that works in your schedule, right?
Yeah, it works in my schedule.
What I did learn though from that interview was I used to think if I don't sleep all week, right, Saturday and Sunday, and I sleep,
it doesn't make
I'm
up
like,
for
oh
it.
yeah, I made up for it. I feel amazing. And he's like, that is totally incorrect. And I'm like, no, but I slept the whole entire day. And yesterday I went to sleep early and I woke up more tired than I've been.
And too much sleep is a bad thing too.
That is, and it's also a sign of
I was like,
depression.
whoa.
Yeah.
I was exhausted this morning. I'm like,
See?
but I went to sleep at 9 o'clock. But it was the first time that I went to sleep at 9 o'clock in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I've been learning with the sleep thing that like naps are even better than sleeping.
Sleep.
They're extremely important, and I'm working on developing a wellness curriculum, and I'm trying to get employers to understand the necessity of having their employers actually
at the job.
Take naps. And I actually have my brain surgeon who's giving me a note when I come back to work to be able to take naps. But you shouldn't have to have a life-changing surgery for your employer to understand that you're extremely refreshed. Even if you have a 20-minute nap, your brain is extremely refreshed as if you're starting your day when you restart. Yeah. And that's a recharge. Everybody needs to recharge.
But just like Michael was talking about the the music industry, also with corporate America, the mighty dollar is in charge of everything. You know what I'm saying? So there are things. Well, it's not, but we put it.
No, it is in charge of everything.
We put it ahead of everything, and what it is that because of the dollar, our integrity, our morals, our loyalty, our respect, and everything is pushed to the side.
That's true.
So, for corporate America to like pay you for nap times, I don't think that's going to happen. Also, they're going to pay you for lunch and nap.
Well, let me say something. So I'm a doctor of healing sciences, and if corporate America could really understand the benefits of having nap time, it cuts down on insurances. It cuts down on your employees calling out sick. It cuts down on the types of sickness that are developed. Yeah. So if they look at the overall effects of it, they would quickly jump on board. But our mindsets is set to believe that I'm losing money.
Yeah.
I saw a cycle that said we work so hard to get money to pay for insurance to go to the doctor when we get sick because we're so tired because we work so much, so we have to pay for it. I was like, oh, when you think about it that way.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's literally what it is.
That's what it is.
Our society is screwed just to the fact that we train our kids to even think that they have to grow up and be someone's employee without thinking that they can grow up and be someone's employer.
Boss, entrepreneur.
See, now we're going into another subject.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good because now we're tapping into another subject, which is, I spoke about that a couple of times to a couple of people, especially. Is it correct for me to say our people?
For what? What do you mean?
In terms of what?
Just in context, referring to like black people.
Our people.
Yeah, our people. You
Okay,
can say our
so-
people. If you talk
No,
about the human race, you can also say our
I just
people.
I want to ask because some
Our
people
people.
get offended. Some people get offended when you say certain things.
I'm the wrong person to ask that. I have no filter.
I know you don't. But there is a thing that we had some people saying that we was taught and we was raised to get a job. When Caucasians or white people was taught to be a boss, be a boss. And this is why it is what it is now. They're the employer, we the employee.
Absolutely.
Because we was taught just to get a job, and the mind frame we settle for, I got a job, I'm good.
Government, city job,
But
everything.
but that job, with the job, it's only, you're restricted.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You're restricted, and they're only paying you enough to repeat the process to come back next week and do it all over again.
And you're at their mercy.
Yeah.
At their mercy.
You don't want to take no days off.
A lot of us don't even have enough savings in a way if something like losing a job or a physical emergency occurred.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're literally at our employer's mercy. And I've kept the job because I was living check to check, and I didn't even respect the way my employer was speaking to me at that time. And I had to humble myself, swallow my pride. I knew it was wrong, but back then nobody was running around suing everybody and stuff like they are now. And I literally humbled myself because I knew I had to provide for my son. But it reminded me of something, and it taught me something. So no matter where I was after that job, I've always had a hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Not nothing illegal. Let me be clear about that.
Yeah, let's clarify a hustle term too as well.
When you say that, people like, oh, they think, legal hustles.
Yeah, hustle.
9 to 5.
Yes.
CEOs hustle every day.
Yes.
Right? So, yeah. Sometimes I lose my train of thought. You have to bring me back.
You have so much going on. That's why.
I know. But
like,
I did not survive
you have so much
to live a mediocre life. That's one of my hashtags, and I really believe that.
Yes.
Can I just say something really quick?
Go ahead.
So the brain is only 3 pounds, right?
Yes.
But it utilizes the most energy of any other organ, which is 20%. So when back to sleeping real quick, you have to rest your motherboard, because pushing it to the extreme, taking it to a next level, crashing on a train, oversleeping, it all affects you. And it doesn't, you don't see it now, but you'll see it in 5 years, you'll see it in 10 years.
Yes.
So we all have to take care of ourselves, and I want to encourage everybody to step up. Don't just love other people, but love yourself enough to rest.
I hear you.
You hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I mean, that's
you ain't
that's why I'm so upset that E wasn't here today, because this would be such a back and forth with you two.
Oh yeah.
Like it would have
been a battle.
There would be so much information being exchanged, because he's gonna, you're gonna say something, you're gonna deliver it, and he's gonna, why is it like that? And which
I
is
love
dope.
people like that. I'm like that.
So we definitely gonna get you back. So you and E, we can make this happen. Hold on one second. We also, if you don't mind, we got because of the time compressed here, we have our other guests up in the building. Photo Rob, are you here?
I'm here.
Are you here? Celebrity photographer.
Come on in.
This is the big dog of NYC when it comes to photographies of celebrities and well-known individuals. It's funny because I've seen this guy a couple of times, but I've never had the opportunity to meet him. It's a pleasure.
HHPOV meet and greets.
I seen him.
Captain.
Actually seen him. I actually seen you at the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival. Miss V, Photo Rob, Miss V.
Right.
Nice to meet you.
Blessings.
So we're gonna mix this conversation with photography and
wellness.
Do you do photography?
No, but I think
you do everything,
I think I'm
but
pretty
photography.
Good. My last business card, I did my photo and everybody loved it. But it was in my bag with my robe on, but it looked good.
That's why they loved it. That's why they loved it.
Come on now.
You gotta know what's your first instinct. If you love it, then you gotta make the people love it.
Come on.
You have to feel the picture.
Was it a Valentine's Day picture?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I'm just asking. I'm just
in
making
a robe
sure.
on the bed.
It sounds like crazy.
Happy Valentine's Day. I totally forgot about that.
Hey. So we good. Photo Rob, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey, peace. I'm good. I had a crazy day running around.
You made it here.
Crazy.
You made it.
All day running around. Getting the kids to school, 7:45.
Last day of school before the break.
They have a half day tomorrow.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Wasn't it a break like a week ago for kids?
No.
Yeah, but now it's like the winter recess.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been out of school, so like I'm just done
it's
with
Chinese New Year.
They off like every month.
Yeah. Well, I swear, I didn't have this many days off of school when I was coming up.
I say that all the time.
Did you, Rob?
No, like a whole week. for presidents, usually I think we got like 2 days off, right?
Yeah.
That Monday.
Yeah.
That was it.
And we even went to
one
school.
day.
We went to school in blizzards. We went to school in blizzards.
In real blizzards.
Yes.
These kids, one flake comes down and they
School
closing.
is closed.
Hey, you know what?
schools
As
and
a,
everything.
I'm also a teacher,
So you enjoy it.
when we have school days, it
Yes.
comes at
It's
the
happening.
right time. Shout out to school days, snow days,
But you only get
Very
2 snow
nice.
days a year, right?
depending on the school.
Okay. Because I know that's what me and the maid was going back and forth about.
All right. Real quick, want to ask Rob a question.
Shoot.
This photography, like I've seen your pictures. I've seen your pictures before I even like seen you in person, and I was like, this guy's all over the place. How did you get your beat? How did it all start? When did the beginning start?
Well, I mean, my first exposure to hip hop was my brother had the Breaks cassette. And
Yeah.
I think I must have been 10 years old. And I didn't know what that, I was like, what is that? And then also, I went to a summer camp, and there were 2 kids from Texas, Jody and Deuce Baggett. I wonder where they are. Cool guys. And, excuse me, somebody had the Planet Rock and, Soul Sonic Force. And I was like, it just sounded like music that was made in outer space, And then somebody had Space is the Place,
Yeah.
It's so long ago, I wonder if my perceptions are even on target. Fast forward, my first hip hop, I did a 12-inch for Lil Dap in 2000 called Brooklyn Zone. In front of the World Trade Center, on the Brooklyn Bridge, in front of the World Trade Center with a friend of his. That was my first hip hop shoot. And then I was doing portraiture, and I wanted to get into all the magazines.
Yeah.
And I would I don't even know if email was existing then. I would call them, and they'd be, they'd say thanks a lot. They had their people that they worked with. So it was tough to break in. So I think it was around 2005, 2006. I went through a difficult human time, And I started just going to hip-hop shows because I think that, there's certain things for me that my spirit, just strengthens my spirit. Going to the museum, looking at art, and hip-hop music. It just resonates with my spirit. So I would go to shows and bring my camera. And some of those shows were, Knitting Factory, Studio B.
Yes.
Some of those old clubs. Remember those joints out in Brooklyn?
I think that's
Sputnik.
way before my days.
Sputnik.
I think that's going a little bit back for my days.
Well, back in the days like that, I wasn't going to Brooklyn too heavy like that. I mean, I was going here and there, but excuse my language, but if it wasn't about women or some money, I was like, Brooklyn, nah, I'm good. I'm from the Bronx, so
Yes, all day.
Bronx and Brooklyn really did not connect. It really did not connect. And we're gonna say thank you hip hop, because it actually brought the
boroughs together.
The boroughs together.
Oh, definitely.
To the intersection
hip-hop,
of
it's
people
all
just willing to
world
travel
together.
and everything. But go back, finish up.
So you would bring your
what was I
cameras to
talking
the
about?
shows.
Oh yeah, so I'd bring my
cameras.
cameras to the shows, and then there was a Beat Nuts show. There was a show at Studio B for Methods Clothing by a guy named Dave G. And I went and I had my camera, and I looked kind of official, right? So I ended up on stage with the Beat Nuts. People were like, he thought I was supposed to be there because I looked official.
That happens.
And then I'm like, this is kind of working out.
And shout out to Psycho Les and Juju.
But it was a great show. I mean, there were a couple Studio B shows, but there was one with Sean Price, Duck Down, Thurston Howell the Third. I mean, these galleries are still.
So
alive.
basically, yeah, an RP to Sean P.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
respect to Bernadette and the family. But it was cool. It was cool. I just basically went to shows and started photographing.
So you basically just kind of like just camouflage and snuck your way in and just happened to just get lucky.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I was intending to do that. I was just going
there for the show.
I love hip hop.
And you had a camera, and you just had a camera.
I'm a fan. I'm a hip hop head.
And you know what's
That's all I
funny?
listen to.
It works today.
It works. It still works. Yeah, I was going to
There
say
are
that
people
actually is
that are
my
not,
story now.
there are people who are not photographers, and they just come in and they show a camera and they get that pass to go in and they're good. And they take one picture.
Changed, you know.
They'll take one picture the whole night
They'll
of
take
themselves.
one picture and they'll say they're a celebrity photographer.
And that's it. That's
Oh, wow.
But it's great. It's my camera's a passport. I get to see the best shows.
I see the same
I meet such exceptional people constantly. You know, I'm a photographer. I'm not a genius musician. You know, to meet Q-Tip,
yes.
you know, and photograph Q-Tip and meet him and say thank you for your music, and then try to do my best job to make a good photo of him. You know, and everyone. You know, it's just it's such a blessing. It's just all gratitude over here.
Yeah.
I just meet cool people and I learn from them.
That's it. And Ms. V. So, what is your roots in hip hop? How far back do you go? Come up to the mic. We want to hear this. We want to hear
I
this.
don't really remember how far back I go. And, well, you know what? That's not true. My mother was really, really strict, and she was an evangelist, so I wasn't allowed to listen to worldly music.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was in a group home, the first, like, hip-hop cassette tape I had got was white, and no, it was the color white, and and it was like, I think some type of Will Smith, like Parents Don't Just Understand, or something like that. That was like as my first
classic.
My memory that I can pull from my brain right now of going back.
Classic joint.
That's it. I think I wasn't too much of a guy like buying the albums like that because I was bootlegging. Like, you know, like if they had it, basically I got a lot of mixed shows. Like I used to love Stretch and Bobito. I used to love like listening to that, and I used to keep my radio in the corner of the window where the signal was at, and I never turned the dial. I always left it on that dial
because it was tough to get. Yeah. You had to go like early to 89.
It was so crazy. It was so crazy.
Right?
And when I caught it, it was there. And I guess because I was in the Bronx and they had their station, I think in Columbia over there in University,
exactly.
that we kind of got it real good. So it was them, and then plus, you know, like just a lot of local DJs making their mixtapes, they tapes and everything. So I used to listen to a lot of things. I grew up with doo-wop. I grew up with Kid Capri and all of them. So I used to get the music like firsthand. So that's why I really never really bought albums like that.
Yeah, I would go to Burkina. Remember Burkina down on Houston?
Yes.
That was my tape spot. I would go down.
Oh yeah. I used to love Fat Beats.
Oh yeah.
And there was another one that we had on Fordham Road. I forgot the name of it. Right there where like Dr. J's is now. It used to be. And it was like, I mean, that the music that goes on today doesn't have the aura of yesteryears. Like,
it's so accessible.
Like
click on something.
That's it. Because you don't have to go nowhere.
Take the train and get the mix it. Look, what's good? Like, what's this? I didn't even know what's on there. Listen to it and be like, oh, this is what I like.
And the credits. Like I always tell people, like reading the credits was like the best thing to see.
Knowing the producers that were on the record.
To see the producers, you'd be like, oh, and then that's when you'd be like, okay. And then you hear this and you be like, that's guy made this and this.
I'm going to get that one.
So like today, because you don't really have to go nowhere to get no music. You just go on your computer and it's there. So there's no hype. there's no excitement to it. You know, you listen to it and that's it. Like there is no, you know.
There's so much music today, and it's so accessible. And with streaming, I think streaming is theft. Pretty straightforward theft of.
Wow, I never thought of it like
musician.
that. I never thought of it like that.
You're not paying the musicians properly, period. So I think it's theft, basically. And, you know, respect to the companies that do that. You know, they didn't invent that market. It is what it is. But, you know, you can click and listen to, you know, albums that people worked on for 2-3 years, you know, for free.
I have a question about that.
Sure.
So, like, I could say a company name like Tidal.
Yeah, you could
Okay,
say.
so there's
Just don't say a radio station.
Okay.
Yeah, and respect to everybody at Tidal, by the way. And much love to my family over there.
Well,
I'm just
absolutely.
saying.
Peace and blessings.
I'm just
Peace and
saying.
blessings.
I wasn't going to say anything bad, but however.
We don't want no ribbon right here.
No,
No ribbon right
I
here.
work for
Peace
a
and
lot of
blessings.
people,
Yeah.
Yes.
but I'm
Yeah.
just saying my honest opinion.
No,
Well-
speak it. Speak it.
I think, you know, I would love to be in that, and I won't interrupt you again. I
No.
apologize.
I just
Go
wanted to
ahead.
ask a question. I wanted to piggyback on what you just said. Is that a reason why you can click on a certain artist's album on Tidal, you know, and maybe like 2 or 3 of the songs will play and not all of them? And they'll you'll see the name and the name of the name
Like
of
a
the artist,
snippet.
name of the song,
Like a snippet.
but it will not be you are not allowed to pull it up.
Tidal is a subscription based
Streaming service.
streaming
Streaming
service,
service.
and
Yeah.
Spotify is free, where the advertisers are paying. And I'm not certain, and I'm a photographer, but I believe Tidal pays better than anybody else, apparently.
Yeah, see, we just had this
Oh,
talk
well,
with
yeah.
Michael.
That's what
You guys
said.
would know this
Yeah.
stuff.
And he
but
was
I
saying,
take pictures.
like,
I'm not going to
the-
speak over my
yeah,
knowledge.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I don't know to the true definition of, you know, Tidal's extinction and everything, but I do respect Jay-Z. Like I respect. I don't know if it's just because I'm so much of a fan of him that
Oh,
like
man.
he
he's-
can't
he's
do
the
nothing wrong.
He's the
like
man.
he can't do nothing wrong. It's
No.
like I'm always defending
Golden
him. Like,
touch.
Like I'm always defending people. Like yo, Jay, do this.
He's
this,
the
this.
golden
and I'm
touch.
Like, you crazy, Jay. This is Jay. You
It's
know,
all home runs that guy
Yeah.
gets. It's all
And,
grand slams, actually.
And
Right.
That was my first introduction to hip hop, listening to Jay-Z.
Really?
Yeah.
and to the
good
actually
introduction.
I met Jay before he blew up crazy because Ski Beats was my homeboy.
Oh, word?
Ski Beats used to go out with my homeboy's sister, so he used to come around the way all the time, and bring Jay once in a while. And then I grew up with Camp Low.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I grew up with Camp Low.
Yo.
So
Very, there's a lot of musicians like Camp Lo that
Yeah.
are just so good. You know, I was talking about Sadat X, like
yes,
Brand New Being. Like, there's just a lot of really talented musicians that should be getting more
I was gonna say
Attention.
overlooked.
well, Low's
radio play.
Well, Camp Low's problem is it goes back, and I argue with them all the time because it's the same reason. So every time we're together,
their choice. They
it's their
choose to
choice,
stay
yeah.
in
It's
independent.
their
Yeah.
choice, and I get into them all the time with them, and I'm like,
They're nice. They're cool
yeah,
dudes.
and
Very skilled.
like and so I knew I met Jay before, like before he came, and I was such a fan, and when they did when he did the joint with Original Flavor, when they first introduced him, that's when Ski first introduced Jay-Z with the Original Flavor, and I was like, yo, this dude is
Quickness.
Like, he is nothing like what anybody is today, nothing. And then when that,
So you saw it early.
I saw it early. I
You knew.
I even heard some of the music, the Reasonable Doubt music before it even.
Isn't
came
that
in,
the
because
best?
I used to be around and and be around Christy, the their manager and everything, so all that stuff, and I seen I just always was like, yo, this dude is like he's so different. He is so different, and he always was like in his own lane, like set a lane. he set a lane and he just followed that lane. And when that Reasonable Doubt album dropped, I was like, this right here, the Reasonable Doubt album and Ready to Die album, it changed me. Like, it really, like, that's when I really was like in love with hip hop right there and then. Like, that's when I was like, yo, this is what it is. You know, it was the artist that set it up, but that was the nail in the coffin right there. So, to go back to the title thing is that I like what Jay is doing with title. I really like he's really
happy to see.
He's really setting.
I just want to see him keep winning
and winning
nonstop,
because we need that. We need that. That's the only way we're gonna get some type of control back to the culture. That's the only way we're gonna get it is what he's doing, and he's setting a blueprint again, and he's letting people know, like, you gotta own, you have to own, and it's not just own your own music, own your material, but you have to own something. You gotta own your house, you gotta own it, you gotta own to be solid, to be recognized.
So I don't need to ask. You feel that Jay-Z's album should have taken Album of the Year.
I knew it wasn't.
Yeah,
I knew it wasn't before.
I felt like I wanted
No,
to.
but if your vote would have been to take it.
Definitely. Just off of artistry. Mm-hmm. That's it. Like, let's just talk about. I would have gave him Album of the Year just off of the growth of where he started and to where it is now. I would have gave him that.
Can we really do that though?
You can't.
You
can't. But I would have. I would have sat there in that.
Bravo works at the table.
I would have sat in that committee and let them know, and I would have told them
one vote to everybody else.
This is what music.
Yeah, I mean, our opinions are our opinions.
This is what the music art is about. It's about the growth.
This is hip hop.
It's about, because if it was somebody else, that did it, they would have got it. They would have got it. Like, if
you think so?
Yeah, if it was a
like who?
I think Kendrick had the best album.
That's what I agree.
I love Kendrick. I mean, that album was nonstop, and then Rock Marciano's album.
Yeah,
I played those two back and forth. I was just going back. But Rock was just an opinion.
Rock is nice though.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
we're not supposed to all have the same opinions and agree on everything. Or like top five. Like, I was talking to a friend, and I was like, Pasta Noose is on my top 5
rappers.
Yeah,
you serious?
I'm dead serious.
You
from
no.
Wow.
The reason why I'm saying he's serious.
Now
the reason why I'm saying he's serious is because I've never, like, as a group, Pasta Noose is dope.
Here's my
De La
point.
Soul is amazing.
Let me say this. We all grew up at different times, and the music that is the soundtrack of our youth and life that molded us, it's not going to be the same.
Definitely.
Now, I'm not saying, like, who's the top 5 rappers of all time.
Yeah.
Rakim is my number 1. All right?
He's already in my head. Rakim and Chuck D.
Chuck D's nice.
Chuck D is my number 2 guy.
Refuse to lose.
Chuck D is amazing. The only rap artist ever who can make conscious music, and they played it in the club.
Shout out to Chuck D, man. Let's do some photos, brother.
He's answered me a couple of times on Twitter. I was like, is this
I love
Chuck
it. Yeah.
me? Like, he's
it's the coolest,
like,
man. When legends like retweet you or give you props.
Speech from Arrested Development, he's answered and did certain things like pictures. I was like, oh, yo, what? I actually told Speech last week on Instagram. I had commented something, he hit me back, and I was like, yo, if you Most Def, Chuck D, and I said somebody else do a song together, Stickman from Dead Prez. I said all you guys need to do a revolutionary song, and he was like
self-destruction kind of joint,
like self-destruction.
Yes, he was like,
wow.
He just was like, and he put 100, and he needs to reach out. And if that
Wow,
happens,
that's an impressive.
I don't need the credit, but it's in my IG and I have it screenshot.
Manifest.
Screenshot it. Screenshot it. You heard it first. Bravo. Bravo,
Manifest
Captain.
that energy. Imagine that. It might just, I was driving up to, and this is like a hell thing, Wesleyan University, to photograph a man named Anthony Hatch, professor, who wrote a book called Blood Sugar, talking about, blood sugar and sweets directed and marketed towards children, black children. So, genius guy, such a peaceful spirit, positive man. Great shoot. But on the way, we were listening to the radio, and it was talking about, Black Panther and the movie and stuff like that. And then after it, the station played Sci-Hi the Prince's New Africa joint. Have you heard that? Oh my god!
No, I didn't get to hear it.
I was just like, that guy's just like
Sci-Hi is
beast.
Yeah, he's. I don't know why. I don't know why he can't get. Why he can't get that recognition. I don't know why. He's always been nice.
Well, the thing is I think that like real heads know the recognition, like we know. Like you say, Chuck D, right?
Yeah.
Even in his joints, doesn't he say like talk about Grammys and stuff like that? Radio suckers never play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and also KRS-One. Not enough radio play as Public Enemy should be getting, and I think people are just afraid. They're fearful, racist or something. Bottom line.
Real quick before I forget, because you mentioned Black Panther. I wanted to ask you too about this. The Black Panther the movie coming out. I say hoopla. I could be wrong, I might get ousted by the. I might get ousted by our people. But the reason why is because
Twitter is happening.
The reason why I feel that
What's
way
this guy's
is
handle?
because I'm a comic book dude.
Oh, okay.
So I look at it totally different from how everybody's taking
know
it,
what you're
like
saying.
on a revolutionary tip, and it's the black people, and we're doing a thing, and I'm like,
I gotta see it
like
before I comment.
this comic book been around. He's always been a black superhero in the comic book,
You're saying
and you wait to a
So-
movie.
The bar is high. That's what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that it shows that we don't do our research sometimes, so we kind of look like suspicious when we jump, when we do
Jump
things,
on the wave?
and then, jump on the wave, and then people looking like, but Black Panther, the superhero, has always been around. The comic book has been around. He was in the Captain America Civil War movie, and nobody was saying. So it took an independent movie of an all black cast for everybody to say, it's our time now. And the first black superhero.
So cool.
But it's like there's so much. Like Storm was a black superhero. Storm marries Black Panther in the comic books, and like this, I just don't get how everybody's making such a thing, a movement because of the movie, and not understanding that it's a movie and it's an art that's been created, and this was created by some white people too, as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
White people created this character. So I don't get just all of this.
You don't get the hoopla
I
behind
don't get it.
I've heard a lot of
I just wanted to ask you. I
I
wanted to ask you because I would have thought that you probably
What?
huh?
What?
Nah, I just would ask you because how you're unfiltered about some things, and you feel a certain type of way when we move a certain type of way and we do certain things.
Well, I'm not for jumping on people's bandwagons.
Yes.
But I am for educating, and I always tell people, like, don't worry about what makes somebody join the movement. Just understand the comfortability and understand that there's a place for everybody in the movement. So if this movie is going to trigger something that makes somebody want to go research something about Black Panthers or how to become more vocal in their own community and become the local superhero, then I'm all for it. Now, if we're going to talk about Disney giving up some of that money to the Black communities, then I'm definitely all for that. There's so many different ways to go this. I mean, I was reading the other day when they was discussing why there wasn't a black character, a gay black character in this movie, and then people was upset about that. So I'm like, I don't know where you want to touch on this, but I'm with it.
I think we expect too much. I think once something happens, we expect too much.
I think we don't take advantage of our opportunities
it's
enough.
Awesome. The word on social media is that the film is
I think they got one
but
bad review
I'm
so
talking
far.
about something I haven't seen. So
but this is the thing, and this is we just going to
Looking
touch
for
on
it.
this. We're going to touch on this real quick, and then we're going to go back into some deep.
Did anyone here see the movie?
Not yet.
So why are we talking about next subject? You're in charge, by the way. You're in charge.
Let's go. Hey, listen, man. It better be better than Thor.
When you when
dope.
you see it, I want to listen to that show.
When you see it
next week.
Yeah, we'll talk. I'm not going to see it next
I want
week.
to. Yeah.
I'll probably go and see it in 2 weeks after it
I'm going to
died
call
down,
you after you see it.
I
Because I want to hear, because you know
but
you've read all
behind the
that.
scenes.
You've read
character,
that, so
yeah.
you could say if you felt it was
doing justice.
positive. But it's a lot of positive response online. So I think everyone I respect is saying how great it is. And
I mean, Marvel steps up its game. Every Marvel movie they step up a level.
So you support people going to support it?
I mean, I support people going to see it, but see it for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? See it for the right reasons. Don't see it as to be in the hype. You know what I'm saying? And just talk and don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because then you talk to the wrong person, and then they're gonna shoot you down, and you're gonna feel like a clown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Just know about it.
Sound like you need to give a whole show on this.
Nah. I take like
he takes himself serious.
I love comics.
I see.
I love comics.
Comic
I was doing comics since I was, and that's why I even named myself that, because I felt like a hero.
That's why.
You know what I'm saying? Yes,
Bravo
I
Captain.
felt like a hero, and that was the reason why I gave myself the name, because I was so in tune with comic books that that was my whole thing.
Then you're not gonna enjoy the movie. It's gonna be an injustice.
No,
You're gonna hate it. You're like, that didn't happen.
I'm well, I already
That's
know
not
that.
the
I already
end,
know.
yo.
I already know that the movies always kind of detour from the comics or from the book or whatever the case may be. It always, because there's no way you can fit everything in 2 hours. No way you can do that. So it's all good though. I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna have fun, and that's it. And we're gonna get right back into some talking hip hop and health and some wellness right now. Rob, what camera do you use?
I use they're not paying me, so I'm not gonna say. No, just kidding.
Nice.
I use
Slims to cut you a check.
it depends.
He said no.
If I'm shooting a video project, I may rent the Sonys, but I shoot mostly on the Canons. When I was shooting film, I was shooting the Mamiya RZ67. I have a piece in the World Trade Museum that was shot on a Mamiya 6.7.
Wow.
On the 6.7 film, 2.25.
So you do film as well?
I don't do film anymore.
Used to.
Why
you stop doing film?
Well, when you a lot of the younger kids are going back to it because it's so interesting and cool. Yeah. It's just the process is really amazing.
Is long.
It's so cool. It's just a really amazing process, and that's how I fell in love with photography.
Yeah.
Seeing a print in the tray sort of, expose in front of your eyes.
It's beautiful.
Develop in front of your eyes. So, yeah, so beautiful. But so I came from shooting film all the time. So when you shoot film, now you have to scan it, then remove all the dust. So shoot it, develop it, spend the money on, each roll to develop, then scan those negatives or slides.
Yes.
Then you get them into Photoshop to fix them up. So it's a lot of expense and time.
Yeah.
This week I was shooting every day. It's just impossible. It's just impossible. Basically, I did a shoot yesterday, and already it's in the layout for the magazine.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's the low resolution is in the layout that the art director is playing with.
Yeah.
And he sent it to me. He's like, "This is going to be the cover." And today I'm out in Brooklyn with Bodega Bams taking some pictures. And it comes in on my phone. Like, the technology is amazing. Like, this is going to be the cover that we shot yesterday. You know.
I mean,
Congratulations, that's big, yeah.
It's crazy. It's just crazy how quickly it moves around, you know.
Because of technology.
Like, you take a picture and then you can upload it and send it to someone. I did it that night because I knew because tomorrow I'm shooting some interviews with Raven. You know Raven?
Nah, break it down. I'm thinking a couple of Ravens. Just let me know
which Raven?
Let me know.
Raven, the Blazing Eurasian. Raven. She's we're gonna do some documentary. She just did one with
I'm thinking Raven Simone.
She just released the second episode. I'm not gonna talk about what we're doing because that's not for me to say. I you know, and also, you know, talk about hearing music before it's played, before it's released.
Yes.
You know, that is such a privilege, you know. So I greatly respect people I work with when I don't talk about their projects. You know, ghostwriting, I don't talk about that.
Yeah. Everything
I respect, you know, a ghostwriter, in my opinion, is someone who's paid to be a ghost.
Yeah.
So that's their relationship with that person. So I'm not gonna.
I like how you
I'm
said
not
that.
gonna talk about that. I'm not
like
gonna
how you
talk about that. That disrespects their relationship. So when I hear music, I don't talk about they're gonna release it.
Yeah.
When they release, I don't play it for anybody. You know.
It's just all for you.
really?
I mean,
it's just
but you earned that.
Somebody eats from, you know, people who leak records are, you know, people got to feed their kids.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're leaking records and downloading stuff for free, now it's changed with streaming. So that conversation, I guess, is over.
Yeah. So with technology, do you think that it's worked more in your favor or against you? And I say that the reason why is because I know that the technology gives you the opportunity and the chance to get it out there faster, clean it up, and things like that. But when I say work against you, I mean as in like other people can do things that which you have a skill for, and technology gives them the opportunity just because they can afford certain things.
I think all the arts have been affected in a similar manner, and that is that any conversation is broader with more people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when you have more opinions, more conversation, it's more. It's a better conversation. It causes you to step up your game more. There's more people in it. However, there is a certain saturation with music, with writing, with photography, blogs, and everything. And so it's just like, you know, I'm not a critical writer or philosopher or journalist along these lines. I take the photographs. So I know as I'm saying these things, I know there's people who have really critically thought about them and spoken about them more eloquently than me and smarter than me.
Yes.
But I will say that I think for me, it's definitely not been very good economically for photography because everyone just reposts photographs and streams music, and
especially without giving credit.
And also, journalism is to get someone to write a piece, a critical piece. I know the payment has come down a great deal from what it used to be.
Yes.
So that's hurt me for sure. I think the conversation is broader and better for that, having more people in it. And I think what's great is like now photography is really accessible to kids. I think that's a plus.
Yes.
But I think there is a saturation which does diminish because you're just so much in your face. I don't know. That's my take on it.
And we can use the same question towards YouTube in a way with YouTube tutorials.
Mm-hmm.
People learning things from YouTube or Google or Wikipedia, and not necessarily taking the classes.
Well, everybody thinks that they're a professor nowadays or an expert, and it's true. And I always tell people to research, do their own research, because even when you talk about social media, a lot of people will see something that a certain person posts and will repost it without fact checking or anything. So I always teach people to research, do their own research. But we're lazy individuals, we're a lazy nation. So the fastest and easiest way to do anything is usually what people will do. So if they could Google about something or use Cliff Notes instead of actually reading the book, that's what they're going to do.
That is so true. That's why I'm scared to repost sometimes. Like when I repost something, no, I'm serious. When I repost somebody's stuff, I'm reposting something that I know about. You know what I'm saying? That I specifically know about. That I say, okay, I'm gonna repost it. I'm gonna put my own caption on it. I mean, there was a repost that happened a couple of months ago. What was it? Again with the bullying with the white kid. Remember, he was bullying.
And he was actually the bully.
Yeah. And everybody reposted and
feeling bad for him.
And then it came out and was like, this is what he's doing, and this is what his parents doing. And I was like, wow.
Was that the kid crying? That kid?
Yeah, that was the kid crying.
And his parents were white supremacists and had pictures about it. And
that's the moms.
That
the moms wind up the moms wind up using that to advantage and doing a GoFundMe or something.
But they shut it down. They shut both of their accounts down when they found out.
She actually went on the news or something. Like, it was a big thing, and it's exactly what you said about that, reposting stuff and not really knowing what you're reposting. Like, we're lazy.
A lot of artists jumped on that bandwagon too.
It was a lot of people. I felt bad for them. I was like, ooh, you getting it now, boy. They was like, and it's like, there's a thing in the news when they say who delivers it first and not exactly accurate, that I was reading about.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking on the way down here? I think we're thirsty for truth, authenticity, and honesty. Because there's a lot of lying that is just accepted. There's just a lot of misinformation that's being directed, released, and told as truth. And when we consume now, we're like, that's not true.
Yeah. But nobody makes a fuss over nothing now. Like if it's a lie, people say, oh, it's a lie. And then tomorrow it's like, oh, like, okay, I'm back to my thing. And like, nobody really is like beating at the door of people giving false information or false claiming something or something, like really shaming them to the point where they admit that, okay, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, I apologize. Yeah. It's just it's a okay pass. Now, I've been trying to figure this out because that goes so much with artists in the music industry as well, like doing things and false claiming things and they getting away with it. And I'm like, is it that much money, or is it that people just let it go because they don't have it in their heart to really fight it? I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah, no, I don't have an answer either.
I think people are gullible, and nobody wants to be on the forefront because nobody wants to be the one that literally has to set the trend or pave the way, and everybody wants to be safe and okay and not mess up their money. I go through this a lot of times at the law firm.
Good point.
I have the title Community Health and Justice Organizer, but that encompasses so many things. And when I go out in the community and want to fight for certain issues or go in front of local lawmakers or government officials and want to say certain things, the law office is like, well, the funders might not appreciate. I don't want to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? So I think more of us need to be in the mindset of community and not just being an individual. And then we'll be more inept to take on the front row or the front line seat and say the things that need to be said or do the things, hold people accountable. I have no problem saying, you know what, that's BS or that's whitewash. That's not true.
Yeah.
but a lot of us don't. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a lot of people was afraid to stand next to me in pictures because I speak about whitewash education, whitewash history, so many things that are now being brought to the forefront, like it's everyday conversation. But people say, "Oh, she's too radical." But now it's okay. Celebrities are speaking more about it. Celebrities are posting bullying and things like that. And so other people are like, well, you know what? I saw it on such and such page. Let me do it. Let me talk about it. Why you gotta follow? Why you just can't lead?
I think it's easier to follow than lead. Nobody wants to be the one chopping down the trees, blazing that path.
I don't like for people to tell me what to do. So I always have to lead. Sorry. But then I fight for people that are afraid to speak for themselves. So it works.
Yeah. So would you like, how would you, Rob, you don't have no problems in the industry thing. You know, you don't have no like differences or confrontations or nothing.
No, I don't have any beefs really. I try not to speak on things that I don't know about. I try not to give advice that I have no experience in. I fail. I'm a human being. I know you probably in this conversation you rewind a little bit and I said something that maybe is, I'm talking about, Black Panther. I haven't seen the film.
Yeah.
And I'm not a comic guy.
Yeah.
I'm a photography, 19th century painting art guy.
But it makes you, but being but you doing photography, gives you the role of an artist, right?
Well, here, it's funny. Like, I have opinions on what I love, and I think that people can see with what I've been photographing, like, that I'm photographing a lot of the really good hip-hop. I'm not even going to try to define that, but a lot of people see what I'm taking pictures of the guys, and they like the artists. I photograph sometimes artists' music that I wouldn't purchase or stream. That's not my job. Mm-hmm. I'm not the gatekeeper of hip-hop photography. I'm there to be of service and photograph and document. That doesn't mean that I'm directing myself towards photographing. I was just thinking, today I was like, I gotta photograph Anderson .Paak. I'm like, that guy is a genius.
Yeah.
I mean, he is like so talented. So I try to manifest that, speaking on it.
Yeah.
And take actions to where that can manifest. But I'm grateful to photograph hip hop. I'm a white guy photographing hip hop. I have to be very respectful. The images, I don't allow my images to be used for hurtful purposes. If they are, I don't know about it. I've been asked to sell images for hurtful purposes. I did not take the money.
Yes.
I did not allow that. As far as I know, my pictures are not. But, there are certain circumstances where I had to go and have pictures removed because I found out that they were being used for confrontational conversations. Not negative purpose, newsworthy stuff.
Yeah.
But I had them removed because it was hurtful, in my opinion, to the artist I photographed. So I got them removed. It was, I'll tell you this story because you want to hear it, right? So it was Mobb Deep. I'd photographed them when P got out of the lottery. I'll say it like that, right?
Yeah.
So he got out, and I got the honor and privilege to meet and photograph the guys together.
Yeah.
There was a conversation, and then Havoc and P got into a negative conversation, maybe an argument or something, and it extended onto social media. So people were reporting that in the hip hop community, and it's legitimate hip hop news. Like when you have one of the greatest duos in hip hop history arguing, people want to read about it. It's gossipy and newsworthy as well. But I just emailed everyone and had them all taken down. I don't, because I was given the the grace of photographing the guys and to be respectful. And, you know, I don't want to be a part of something that might be, they might, you know, sometimes we all say things that maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Wish I could rewind it and go back and have not said that. So, but when you these guys are famous, so, you know, when they say something, it becomes part of like the you know, hip hop history.
Yeah.
But I spent 3 days. I emailed everyone and said, "Can you please use someone else's photo for that story?"
Wow.
And then when I saw Havoc again, I was like, it was cool. I could look Havoc in the face. Say, yeah, I protected your image.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you again. Like, it's great to photograph you. You know, and he knows that people can trust me that with collaborating and taking a portrait.
Yeah. And not too many people would have done that.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have just like, hey, I'm getting this check, and you know, you hear the saying now, I'm chasing that bag, and but
it's too small industry hip hop. I'd be like, yo, where you sold my picture for that thing? Thanks, guy.
and yeah,
I wouldn't be invited back, man.
Yeah.
What was your proudest picture?
That's what I was gonna ask. That picture that you said, this is going down.
First time I photographed Rakim at the Knitting Factory, he was performing on stage. I had photographed there for about 2 years straight with Peter Agustin. I knew everybody. They cut off, you know, who was getting on stage and who wasn't. And one of the gentlemen who'd been working at the Knitting Factory, I forget his name, so I apologize, my friend. But he said, Rob, come on, you can go on stage. So I was on stage with my favorite MC of all time, the Guod MC, Rakim, the nicest, number one, and should be on, if he's not on your number one list, blessing.
The number
we
one.
grew up in a
Only one.
We grew up in a
Who doesn't like Rakim?
He's the man. So I woke up the next day just like a Boy Scout, and I was like, did that happen? Pinching myself. Like, I woke up like, what? He was talking to me, and he didn't really know who I was back then.
Yeah.
But I think he does know and has seen several of my photos of him in portraits. We've met, brief conversations. So I think he does know, you know, he took those photos.
Yeah, I mean, you're a photographer and you're that guy. They gotta remember.
But we all shared in his poetry, right? His poetry kind of raised us, and a lot of people, you know, were changed. You know, you talk about, you had mentioned being changed by Public Enemy. You know, Rakim was kind of like, I looked up to. He's just like a legend.
At that time, Rakim,
he's just the coolest dude.
At that time, Rakim and Big Daddy Kane was like the smoothest black guys ever.
And you had Cool G Rap.
And then Cool G Rap came in. It was like when I met Rakim over this summer. I bumped into him right outside, coming out of a meeting, and he was coming somewhere, and I bumped, and I seen him, and I was across the street, and I seen him, and I was
ran across the street.
I ran across
cars
the street.
beeping.
I swear, everything I loved. I was dodging them cars, and I was like, "Yo, the God!" And he turned around, and I was like, "Yo!" And
he keeps it a buck.
And I swear, and then when I came up, I was like, "Yo," and I was like, "Yo, Rob."
He's the Miles Davis of our generation, man. Isn't he the coolest cat there is?
He's so humble. He's so cool. And I got to see him perform the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival last summer. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? First time I ever seen Rakim perform, and I was like, every song came on, and I'm like, and I'm reciting the words, and I'm looking at people like, you don't know Rakim like I know Rakim. You know what I'm saying? It's just that feeling, man. Certain people you just
shouting his lyrics and pointing at him. That's the best.
He's just one, and you don't really see him. That's the thing. You really don't see him. So when you do see him, you're like, oh, he's around. He's here. He's here. So you know.
Did you go to the Apollo when the Paid in Full show?
I didn't get to see. I tried to go. Something came up that night that I was going to that. Something I forgot what came up. I was so upset because I wanted to see that. I wanted to see Eric B. come
I
out.
was out of town, and I was watching that on
I was
Instagram. Like,
upset.
man,
I seen it. I seen it on you. I seen it on Instagram and YouTube. Everybody, I was like, yo, that was a block party. That was a block party.
everyone's on stage.
That was a block party.
It's like Wu-Tang
Yes.
on stage. Like, everyone's there.
Everybody, man.
Half of Shaolin. But
I mean,
in this case, Long Island and New York hip-hop community.
I mean, hip hop, man. A lot of us wouldn't be where we are, or doing what we're doing. Even you.
You know what?
Even though your
good
doesn't
point.
perceive, even though your lane is not particularly hip hop, but I know you have hip hop influence. You already said it. Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff.
Absolutely.
First
Queen
tape.
Latifah,
Queen
MC Light,
Latifah.
like those.
You had to love Moni Love.
Yeah, they taught
Because
me.
you have a Moni Love type of aura to you.
Look, really?
I'm serious. I'm so serious.
Hip hop taught me a lot. Hip hop taught me how to love myself. Hip hop taught me how to command respect from others, especially dudes. Yeah, hip hop taught me a lot.
Favorite hip hop artist?
Favorite?
Yes. Male or female, doesn't matter. Okay, no, give me one female, one male. We're gonna make it, and I'm asking.
My favorite? I already told
Male and female. Male, you gotta give me a female.
like
one.
rock.
I have to give you a favorite.
Yeah, I know his favorite. Wow, off the top of my head.
Yes, like a freestyle off the top of your head.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's my favorite, but in my car right now, I have Hove and Biggie, but they're like Brooklyn, and I'm Brooklyn.
Yeah. So it's a Bible.
And
for me.
I will tell you, my favorite hip hop artist female is always going to be Queen Latifah, because ladies first, unity, everything. She taught me so much about love and she taught me respect and how to punch somebody in their face.
Yeah,
So-
wait, we're not gonna promote violence over here.
At all. However, when you disrespect it, sometimes you gotta handle your business.
I hear you. Rob, favorite female artist?
Favorite female artist? Man, I want to, I'm so involved in the culture, I don't want to insult my friends.
You ain't gonna insult
get it.
nobody.
Maybe
You-
I get offended here. Because, I've done some work with some of the finest MCs around. Fifth Amendment.
Oh, you put me in the face.
Favorite female? I relate to the, I'm a man, so I relate to the male. I'm going to keep it 100. So I listen more to the male MCs basically because I'm a man, and that story I identify with more, right? So you identify more with the female MCs, no?
Mm-mm. But I get you.
I'm gonna get punched in the face. I'm gonna get that hip hop punch in the face.
No.
Man, favorite female MC, I would say Lauryn Hill.
Good choice.
I would have to say Lauryn Hill.
Good choice. Coach, favorite female MC?
Favorite. I would have. This person wasn't on my radar until we had an event and she was there, and I was like, it brought back memories. But I'm gonna have to say Roxanne Shante. I was stunned.
Great
by
choice.
her words, everything, and I was like, oh my God, I
Pioneer.
was like, damn, legend,
She was
icon.
cool.
It was amazing. I was
Shout
blessed
out
to be
to
in her
Juice
presence. Yeah.
Shout out to them. Before we end this show, my favorite female artist,
Oh yeah.
MC Light. Cha Cha Cha.
Yeah.
Did you see her at the summer?
Paper thing.
Yeah, we
Did you
did.
see her
We
at the
saw.
summer?
Yeah.
I was there.
Oh.
At Central Park, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was amazing.
MC Light, favorite.
That was
when
amazing.
Cha 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 was my joint. When she did Cha 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 and Paper Thin, that was it, man.
MC Lights on the
MC Lights
microphone.
she destroyed a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
She could destroy a lot of dudes. Before we end the show, it was amazing. It was hard to balance, but amazing show. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. Please let them know, Ms. V, let them know where they can find you and locate you, get in touch with you.
Well, out of all the titles that you've heard, everything is under my umbrella company at visionaryv.com. Social media, Visionary V. Visionary V LLC, and my main page, BK Zamira, is Brooklyn's Princess, BKSAMIRAH. Peace and blessings.
Yes, and Rob, let them know where they can find you at.
I mean, if you just Google photo Rob hip hop photography, I'll come up on something, one of your social medias.
That's it, man. And HHPOV, we are out. I want to thank everybody for coming through, and Michael for calling. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.